While initially there was an increase in the price of Bitcoin, it has retraced quite significantly, all the way down from 47,000 when the fake approval of the ETFs went out to about 42,000. Speaking of the fake approvals, we do have a statement from the SEC on this. In particular, my humble opinion is it's hilarious that the SEC claims that they were hacked and that right before the actual approval of the ETF went live, there was a fake tweet that it went live. And then, of course, there was capitalization on that price, and it basically shot up through the roof initially and then came back down as everybody sold. There's another thing that we have to talk about here too, I think that we'll get into right after we talk about this, and that is, of course, the miners' influence on it. But the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission released this statement in response to the hack of its X account that led to a fake announcement being issued in the SEC's name, saying the regulator had approved a spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund. What is hilarious is that it ended up being accurate and probably should have just let it go and not even mention it. But based on current information, staff understands that shortly after 4 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, January 9th, 2024, an unauthorized party gained access to the SEC govx.com account by obtaining control over the phone number associated with the account. The unauthorized party made one post at 4:11 p.m. Eastern purporting to announce the Commission's approval of spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds, as well as a second post approximately 2 minutes later that said Bitcoin. The unauthorized party subsequently deleted the second post, but not the first. Using the @SEC Gov account, the unauthorized party also liked 2 posts by non-SEC accounts. While SEC staff is still assessing the scope of the incident, there is currently no evidence that the unauthorized party gained access to the SEC systems, data, devices, or other social media accounts. Now, of course, this is why we talk about on this channel not utilizing any sort of cell service or phone service, specifically SMS texts, for your two-factor authentication, because that can be hijacked in a myriad of ways. The preferred method, of course, is at least utilizing some two-factor authentication application, such as Google Authenticator, Authy, or something along those lines. And for the most protection, in my humble opinion, you should utilize a hardware option. In this particular case, what I utilize a lot of the time are YubiKeys. And these are basically little USB devices that will basically plug into a computer or utilize NFC to then confirm that you are the actual owner. And then you have basically a hardware verification that you own the account. The other thing that you can do if you don't want to invest in that, if you have an old cell phone, which a lot of people do, you can turn off all of your Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all of that, and keep that cell phone for multi-factor authentication alone. You can use a Faraday pouch or something along those lines to keep it safe, and then throw it in a safe as well if you prefer to basically stay as secure as possible. And clearly, the SEC doesn't have a very good security team, because if they did, they would have these options in place. So pretty disappointing from that factor. We have this basically governmental body that's telling us that they're here to protect us, but they can't even keep their own accounts secure. Or it's a complete farce and it was never accidentally tweeted or hacked in the first place, or it wasn't hacked in the first place, and it was accidentally tweeted out by Gary Gensler while he was drunk at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Who knows? And then he had to backpedal and was like, oh, I made a mistake. So, what do you guys think? I think it's a little ridiculous, but just wanted to give you guys some security tidbits on that, as far as so you can protect your own accounts. Upon becoming aware of the incident, staff in the Office of Public Affairs posted to the official Gary Gensler X.com account at 4:26 p.m. Eastern, alerting the public that @SEC Gov account had been compromised. An unauthorized post was made, and the commission had not approved the listing and trading of spot Bitcoin exchange traded products. Staff deleted the first unauthorized post on the @SEC Gov account, unliked the 2 liked posts, and at 4:42 p.m. Eastern made a new post on the @SEC.gov account stating that the account had been compromised. Staff also reached out to X.com for assistance in terminating the unauthorized access to the @SEC.gov account. Based on information currently available, staff believe that the unauthorized access to the account was terminated between 4:40 p.m. Eastern and 5:30 p.m. Eastern. The SEC takes its cybersecurity obligations seriously. Clearly, they do not, because if they did, they wouldn't even have this functionality in there. I mean, it's ridiculous. If you take it seriously, then you need to hire some new cybersecurity specialists, because this is really a no-brainer to prevent an SMS hijack, in my humble opinion. It's crazy. The SEC takes so commission staff are still assessing the impacts of this incident on the agency, investors, and the marketplace, but recognize that those impacts include concerns about the security of the SEC's social media accounts. The staff will also continue to assess whether additional remedial measures are warranted. Of course they're warranted. I just gave you the remediation. All right, SEC, I just gave it to you. All right, so get on that. Staff are coordinating with the appropriate law enforcement and federal oversight entities, including the SEC's Office of Inspector General, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the Department of Homeland Security, Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, amongst others, in their investigations. The agency will provide updates on the incident as appropriate. Importantly, the Commission makes its actions public on the Commission's website at sec.gov. The Commission does not use social media channels to make its actions public. Social media posts only amplify the announcements that are made on our website. Of course, this is just a backup of saying, oh, you stupid little peon, make sure that you always check the sec.gov. Well, what happens when the sec.gov is hijacked, or a DNS hijack, or something along those lines? Because those happen all the time. Anyways, pretty crazy. At the end of the day, I'd like to hear your thoughts and opinions on it. Thanks for watching this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. You can check out the full episode here, and don't forget to subscribe down here as well. You can also check out my crypto mining e-course at sonofatech.com, where you can get a free month of supporter status with a purchase at sonofatech.locals.com. Also, don't forget to check out my merch underneath the video or at shop.sonofatech.com. I'll see you next Tuesday.